Welcome back to Thomas and Friends Read Aloud by Miss Jen Reads a Lot. This story today is Thomas and the Circus. The Injuns were very excited because the circus was coming to town. Percy wanted to see the dancing horses. James couldn't wait to see the funny clowns. And Thomas, he just wanted to see the big top tent go up. All the Injuns wanted to be the one to go to the docks to collect the circus. But who would the Fat Controller choose? It was Thomas. But Thomas, if there are too many trucks for you to pull, you must share the work with the other Injuns, said the Fat Controller. Yes, sir, I will, said Thomas, and he steamed off with Annie and Clarabelle. At the docks, Cranky the Crane had unloaded everything. There were horse boxes and costumes and people everywhere. The acrobats and clowns climbed aboard Annie, and Clarabelle carried the ringmaster and the band. Salty shunted the very long, very heavy circus train into place behind Thomas. Need any help, matey? He asked. Thomas remembered what the Fat Controller had said about sharing the work, but he wanted to pull the circus train all by himself. No, thank you, Salty, he said. I can do it. Then Thomas took the biggest puff he could and slowly chuffed out into the countryside. He had to work very hard indeed. His pistons pumped, his traction rods rattled, but Thomas was so happy that he took no notice. Peep! When Thomas pulled the circus train through Maroon Station, he got a lovely surprise. The platforms were full of people waving and cheering. The circus people waved back, and the band played. Thomas was so happy that he joined in by blowing his whistle. Peep, peep! When Thomas had to stop at the junction, children lined the bridge to wave and cheer. Peep! Thomas blew his whistle extra loudly for them. Percy was there, too. He really wanted to help. Is there anything I can take for you, Thomas? He asked. But Thomas wanted to do everything himself. He was having too much fun to accept help from Percy. No, thank you, Percy, he said. I'll do it on my own. Oh, I see, said Percy sadly. He felt very disappointed as he watched Thomas chuff away. Thomas puffed on and on and on. The train felt heavier and heavier and heavier. His traction rods rattled and rattled and rattled. When he stopped at a signal, James was waiting in the siding. Like Percy, he wanted to help with the circus train. If you uncouple some trucks, I can take them for you, he said. But Thomas still didn't want any help, even though he was very tired. No, thank you, James, he said. I can do it on my own. Thomas steamed off again, but every huff was harder, and every chuff made him feel more and more tired. When Thomas passed through the next station, he didn't have enough steam to whistle to the people waving from the platform. He couldn't manage even one single tiny toot. He was almost out of puff. Then out in the countryside, creak, crack, Thomas's traction rods broke, and he stopped with a jolt. He couldn't move. Thomas was worried, and so were the circus people. We need to practice, said one of the clowns. And the horses need more hay, said the ringmaster. Thomas's driver telephoned for help, and soon James arrived with new traction rods. Percy brought some hay for the horses, too. I wanted to keep all the fun to myself, said Thomas, but now I wish I'd shared the work with you. Never mind, we'll all have fun now, puffed Percy. Percy was right. Thomas got new traction rods, then he shared out the trucks. Percy took the horses, James took the performers, Thomas took the heavy big top tent. Then the band started playing, and the circus train set off again. Now, when people waved and cheered, 3 engines blew their whistles. Peep, said Thomas. This is good fun. Later on, when the circus had been set up, the engines went to look at the big top tent. Peep, said Thomas. Thank you for helping me. Sharing work is good because it makes things easier, but sharing fun is even better.